Did you know that over 450 million people worldwide live with mental health disorders, according to the World Health Organization? But what does it really mean to receive a diagnosis like depression or anxiety? Is it a permanent label, or is it just a starting point for change? In this video, we'll demystify mental health diagnoses, address common misconceptions, and show you how it's possible to transform your mental health. Whether you've experienced this yourself or know someone who might need support, this content could make a difference. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Let's take this journey together toward a healthier mind. Mental health diagnosis. Breaking it down. Mental health diagnoses are often misunderstood and surrounded by stigma. Many see them as permanent labels or even definitive statements about someone's personality or future. But is that really the case? One of the most common misconceptions is believing that a mental health diagnosis explains the root cause of the problem. For instance, someone with depression may experience sadness, low energy, or crying spells. However, the diagnosis itself doesn't reveal whether these symptoms stem from genetics, trauma, or lifestyle factors. Another mistake is comparing mental health diagnoses to traditional medical ones. A medical diagnosis, like the flu or diabetes, usually identifies a specific cause, such as a virus or a hormonal imbalance. Mental health diagnoses, on the other hand, describe a set of symptoms but rarely explain their underlying cause. That's why it's crucial to see a diagnosis as a tool to understand what's happening now, not as an unchangeable definition of who you are. It's a starting point, not a final destination. This perspective helps reduce stigma and brings a more balanced view of mental health diagnoses. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how mental health diagnoses differ from traditional medical ones and why this distinction is so important. The difference between medical and mental health diagnoses. Have you ever noticed how medical and mental health diagnoses work completely differently? When you see a doctor with a fever and sore throat, they can often identify the cause of the problem, like a viral or bacterial infection. This is what we call a medical diagnosis. It links symptoms to a specific cause. Mental health diagnoses, like depression or anxiety, are different. They describe a group of symptoms, but don't directly pinpoint the origin. For example, someone diagnosed with depression might feel deeply sad, lack energy, and feel hopeless. But the diagnosis alone doesn't explain whether these symptoms are due to genetics, past trauma, or lifestyle. This difference matters because, in medical diagnoses, treatments typically target the identified cause, like antibiotics for an infection. Mental health treatment, however, requires a broader approach, addressing biological, emotional, and behavioral factors simultaneously. Understanding this distinction helps us move away from oversimplifications, like thinking mental health conditions are just weakness or something that can be fixed with willpower. It encourages a more comprehensive and compassionate approach to mental health care. Next, we'll tackle some common myths about mental health diagnoses and how they can be tools for understanding, rather than labels for judgment. Debunking mental health myths. Getting a mental health diagnosis can feel overwhelming, but it's important to understand that it's not a life sentence or a permanent label. One of the biggest myths about these diagnoses is that they indicate a defect or personal failure. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many people also believe in the chemical imbalance theory, which suggests that conditions like depression are solely caused by low levels of brain chemicals like serotonin. While biology plays a role, modern science shows that this explanation is too simplistic. Emotional, social, and behavioral factors are also crucial. Another misconception is seeing a diagnosis as a fixed identity. In reality, it reflects a specific moment in your life. Just like you can recover from a physical injury, you can also improve your mental health with the right care and strategies. This understanding shifts the perspective. A diagnosis doesn't define you. Instead, it's a starting point for addressing challenges, gaining clarity, and opening the door to meaningful change. In the next section, we'll explore neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to adapt and change, and how it can help you overcome diagnoses and improve your mental health. Neuroplasticity, the power to change. Did you know your brain has an incredible ability to adapt and change throughout your life? This is called neuroplasticity, and it's one of the strongest proofs that mental health diagnoses are not definitive. Neuroplasticity is the process by which your brain forms new connections between neurons based on your experiences, thoughts, and actions. Simply put, what you practice, whether it's a new habit, behavior, or even a more positive mindset, rewires your brain over time. For example, if you're dealing with anxiety, you can train your brain to respond more calmly to stress through practices like deep breathing or meditation. Over time, these activities create new neural pathways that help reduce symptoms. This shows that diagnoses are not fixed. They describe where you are now but don't determine where you can go. The key is to take an active approach, exploring strategies that promote mental and emotional growth. In the next section, we'll delve into the causes of mental health disorders and how various factors interact to shape our mental well-being. Understanding the causes of mental health disorders. When discussing the causes of mental health disorders, people often fall into two extremes. Some believe they are purely biological, caused by genetics or brain chemistry. Others think they result solely from personal choices or moral failings. The truth is much more complex and fascinating. Mental health disorders arise from an interplay of biological, emotional, and behavioral factors. For instance, genetic predispositions can increase the likelihood of developing depression, but that doesn't mean it's inevitable. Stressful experiences, trauma, or even a lack of social support can trigger symptoms in someone with a predisposition. Emotional experiences also play a huge role. Difficult life events, such as losing a loved one or facing financial stress, can lead to anxiety or depression, even in those without genetic risks. Daily behaviors, like what you eat, how much you sleep, and how you manage stress, also significantly impact mental health. For example, poor nutrition can affect brain function, while regular exercise releases endorphins that promote well-being. Understanding these interconnected causes reminds us that no one is stuck with a diagnosis. Lifestyle changes, emotional support, and when needed, medical interventions can all work together to create meaningful improvements in mental health. Next, we'll explore alternatives to medication and how a balanced approach can lead to lasting results. Alternatives to medication. When it comes to mental health, medication can be incredibly helpful, but it doesn't have to be the only solution. In fact, there are many strategies that, whether used alone or alongside medication, can bring significant improvements and even transform your quality of life. Medications are effective at reducing symptoms and can be essential during difficult times. However, they also come with limitations, such as side effects, potential dependency, and the way they can impact some people's sense of identity. This is why a balanced approach that includes other options is so important. Some of the most effective alternatives include 1. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a well-researched therapy that provides practical tools to challenge negative thoughts and behaviors. 2. Physical activity. Exercise boosts endorphins, which improve mood and reduce anxiety. 3. Mindfulness and meditation. Practices that help train your mind to focus on the present, reducing stress. 4. Social support. Having trusted people to talk to can make a huge difference during tough times. 5. Healthy nutrition. A diet rich in nutrients like omega-3s and magnesium supports brain health. 6. Quality sleep. Establishing a consistent sleep routine can dramatically enhance mental well-being. 7. Nature exposure. Spending time outdoors lowers stress hormones like cortisol. 8. Alternative therapies. Practices like yoga, acupuncture, and music therapy can complement traditional treatments. 9. Structured routines. A balanced daily schedule provides structure and reduces feelings of chaos. 10. Learning something new. Challenging your brain with new skills boosts confidence and mental agility. It's crucial to remember that mental health is real and deserves attention, but it doesn't have to feel like a permanent condition. By combining medication, if needed, with behavioral and emotional strategies, you can achieve a healthier, more balanced life. If you're struggling, the most important step is to start. Whether that means reaching out to a professional, adopting a new self-care habit, or simply opening up to someone you trust, taking that first step can lead to transformative changes. Mental health diagnoses are not permanent labels. They are starting points for transformation. Unlike traditional medical diagnoses, they describe symptoms without identifying specific causes. We've debunked myths surrounding mental health, highlighted the brain's ability to change through neuroplasticity, and explored how diagnoses don't define you. We also discussed practical alternatives like therapy, exercise, and lifestyle adjustments that can greatly improve mental health. Remember, mental health is an ongoing process, and even the smallest steps towards self-care make a difference. Let us know in the comments which insight resonated most with you. Your experience might inspire others. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more transformative content like this. Together, we can create healthier minds and more balanced lives.